They just tell you about the cars that you need to know when you buy it.
Yeah.
It's the best curiosity itch for any car.
Dude, I don't like any cars like that, but I watch it and I'm fascinated.
Well, that's why I bought the Infinity. I was like, how well is this motor gonna do?
I was waiting for them to do a Miata one. They never came out.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They did.
You gotta watch it.
I could do a better job.
You gotta subscribe.
Do you guys know about the channel Donut?
Yeah.
Donut Media?
That's one of my
Dude,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you seen the one where they get a mechanic in and they try to figure out like what's wrong with the car, and then if you fix it,
You can keep
you get to keep the car.
Yeah.
I love that one.
So they're not doing too well.
What is it? What's Donut Media?
Donut Media, it's a really massive like car channel. It's basically Donut Media and Hoonigan are kind of like the new world motor trend. Like,
They're as big as
they
Hoonigan?
took both of them are kind of like they're like the titans of car channels. And Hoonigan and Donut are kind of going through the same thing where they're losing all of their key people because of corporate takeovers where they like corporate people bought the channels.
They bought Hoonigan?
I believe so. I believe they bought Hoonigan and a different one may have bought there might be a different one.
Because their main guy passed away, right?
Ken Block?
Yeah.
And then the other guys left because of...
Well, ever since Ken Block, yeah, it's been kind of hard to, I guess, like get things back to being the way they were. But then even worse, some other people have taken ownership, and they've managed it in ways that left the main people really unhappy. Like it's been so hard on them because you know how it is when I'm sure like with Maker, you probably saw it happen in a lot of different ways where people who are the creative force behind a channel can no longer be that because they're being asked to do things that are more for profit. And
Yeah,
not
corporate.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell of that.
So that happened with Donut, and Job and Jeremiah left, and they're starting a channel called Big Time. And then as of right now, I don't know when this will come out, but James has yet to announce what he's gonna do, and he's probably one of the, like, if not the reason why so many people love Donut. And this is a big thing because for these two channels to be like losing all of their players, it's kind of like when BuzzFeed started losing people. Then people who made channels as offshoots, those channels now passed BuzzFeed.
Sure
This is
thing.
probably gonna happen with them.
Wow.
Damn.
Don't you know the freaking Donut people?
Yeah, well,
Oh, you do?
the owner of Oos Media that does our podcast, the Casuals MMA one, he was one of the creators of Donut.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to, I don't know who, but they sold it. And then he's been hands off since.
Sold it to Duncan, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Dunkin' Donuts. Right? Does that say it in there?
It says, yeah.
that's what I thought. But that's all I really know about it.
Yeah, they go into pretty good detail explaining like what the process was and why it turned them off from it. And it's basically because they said like when a corporate entity takes over your company, they start to prioritize other things, and then now there's a more staff that need to get paid that aren't.
That's the biggest one. There's so many people that need to justify their jobs in corporations because it's like government. There's a lot of bureaucracy. When things get too big, there's a budget that each department needs to spend, right? And so and also it looks good when your company grows. They need to show growth. So like sometimes growth is like, I'm hiring people to do this and this, right? But here's the problem is like, you have people that might have a job and it was meaningful for like 6 months.
Yeah.
But what happens after those 6 months where, we don't really need you anymore. But you don't want them to know that.
Well, sometimes too, and this is pretty hilarious to observe, they keep people on to make the company look bigger so that they can justify selling the company for more money to another entity.
Yeah.
And that is where shit gets hilarious.
Yep.
What?
Because it's like,
Why does it get hilarious?
well, in some cases I've heard about,
Okay.
you get an email and they say, hey, everybody, we need you to show up early tomorrow and act like you're working.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why would they put that on email? That's so stupid.
They're not, you're not dealing with the sharpest tools, right? It's a bunch of fucking tuber scum who got a bunch of money all of a sudden. so then you show up and like people are filming fake videos while you got like
It's a North Korean village.
legit, dude. You got corporate bigwigs walking through and being like, "This is very impressive. Wow, this is this looks like a real production house and shit like that." And that's what sold the company for $1 billion to Disney, dude. I watched it happen. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So whenever you see these corporate dudes and they look so smart and they're wearing their suits and shit, just know they're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Take him for a ride, huh?
Yeah, dude, legit.
But they're probably looking at you like, you're dumb as fuck. I got money I have to spend because it's Q4 and I just fucking made like $20 billion that I need to fucking spend or else it's getting taxed.
But dude, like imagine spending that on North Korean video village.
I know.
The cool thing is that with this happening with Donor right now, I think it's really fun to watch because it's so transparent. Like all the people that are leaving are being really open about what's happened to the company.
Yeah.
So you really get an inside look about like
happens
very
when there's a
specific things.
buyout?
They're like, they're like, oh yeah, the guy started telling us to stop making these videos and make these ones instead, but had no data to support why. Like it just shows such clear bad decision making.
Yeah.
It's like just a random guy just comes in and starts barking orders and shit.
Well, that's the difference, right? Like also guys that work on that level, they don't understand how to bootstrap things. So for example, right? Like this happens in production all the time in Hollywood where if you're used to $100 million budget, you don't understand how to work on $1,000 budget. It's just a different scale. So like it's not that they're dumb, and I mean they are, but it's not like they just don't know how to think the way that a tuber does. Or like a small business owner does.
Well, a lot of the time they're not even from the same world. Like like if I was successful in A, that doesn't mean I'll know what to do in B.
Yeah.
And I think in these situations, the businesses that these people are from don't relate to how they ran theirs.
Because these guys probably really know car culture, and they might have been part of like a singing show or something. But because they're part of a big production singing show, like they know how to run this.
Yeah.
But
sometimes it honestly does work weirdly. Like the people that created America's Best Dance Crew, previously they created an aerobics tournament. And that's how they applied the same formula to make Dance Crew.
Well, there's two, like, if a company's big enough, there's like two departments that don't speak in the process of a takeover, right? So there's the acquisition team, the one that makes the deal. They look at everything and they go, this looks like really good for our company for these reasons. They buy it, right? But sometimes they don't even talk to the integration team, which is the team that merges and makes it a part of the new company. So sometimes if the company is big enough, these two departments don't talk. And then what ends up happening is even more confusion. So like business gets acquired. All right, now this acquisition team is going off to the next deal, the next deal, the next deal. So now the integration team comes in and they're like, they weren't maybe put up to speed. And then they're like, all right, cool, we have a new business now, we gotta run. And then, like, you know how Steve was saying, there's a lot of waste. There's like people that need to justify their jobs. They come in, they pretend like they're working. And then so like, there's a lot of that corporate politic bullshit that like, I think small companies don't know how to work around. Because small companies, you have to be efficient, you have to be profitable. There's things that you have to do or else you just die, right? Whereas big companies, it's like you have a lot of waste, a ton of waste and like a lot of nonsense and a lot of like...
Dude, Elon just took over Twitter. He fired like how many employees? Thousands of employees, right?
Yeah.
And what was everybody saying at the time? Everybody saying the same fucking thing. Oh, Twitter's gonna die. It's gonna be dead tomorrow. Won't even turn on tomorrow and all this shit. Twitter was completely fine. They've grown since, right? But that's what happens. People don't know what they don't know ultimately, and then they just speculate on everything without having one fucking modicum of an idea of how it works. Plus, also too, as tuber scum, sometimes when you're making something, like you don't know what you don't know. Like you don't know how to scale the production up that much. Like if I was to give you $1 million, you would only know how to spend probably 15,000 of it, and the rest of it you'd be like, I don't need to spend all this money, and I want to hoard this as profit and use it for other videos, right? So that's why I like those people better, even though I call them tuber scum, because they actually know how to use a dollar and stretch it as much as they possibly can, instead of just throwing money at every problem, including when that money gets used to make more problems.
Plus, you're working with a creator that has an existing network of people that are not overcharging.
Correct.
So the bill is less.
Yep.
For people that are well tied into their community
Mm-hmm.
versus a guy that comes in, doesn't know anyone, and has to pay top dollar to get people to
And treats everyone like shit. Doesn't
Yeah,
care.
and treats everyone like
all
shit,
that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's really great. If you guys ever want to, you're gonna see a little bit floating around. When I posted it on IG story for JK, a lot of people seem to watch us and Donut. So they were like, "What the fuck? My world's colliding."
Maybe we should bring some former donut folks to tell us the details. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Have you seen a difference in their content in the past like year or so?
Yeah.
Like since they got
Well, they
acquired?
got rid of one of their most popular series, which was Up to Speed.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, everyone loves it. And that's the thing. Like when someone comes in, they would make a decision like that. Maybe because it's like, oh, these videos cost too much.
Dude, that was one of their best fucking like series. And on top of that too, how they shoot it is just a guy behind a green screen. They write it and everything. But it's like,
Sometimes a corporate guy comes in and they don't like it, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I don't like that one, and it's like, oh, but everyone loves it. All this
Dude,
shit.
it's like
Like,
they're
I don't think
both-
it works.
dude, half the up to speed videos get like millions of views.
Millions, yeah.
That's why.
It's a video essay. You know what I mean? Like they kill it.
Yeah, and you can endlessly do those. Like they haven't even scratched the surface on the amount they could have done.
Well, they just tell you about the cars that you need to know when you buy it,
Yeah.
and what helps you
fun,
with
entertaining
is it
way.
reliable?
It's the best curiosity itch for any car.
Dude, I don't like any cars like that, but I watch it and I'm fucking fascinated.
Well, that's why I bought. That's why I bought the Infinity. I was like, how well is this motor gonna do? And they explained it, and I was like, all right, I'll buy an Infinity. Then.
I was waiting for them to do a Miata one. They never came out.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They did.
You gotta watch it.
I could do a better job.
You gotta
I think.
subscribe, dude.
I need to do a better job. I need to handle that one.
No, you need to subscribe.